Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane. If you're returning, I'm so glad to have you back. I received a message from your loved ones yesterday, and so I want to just bring that message to you. They showed me a vision of a whale, and then they showed me a rainbow cloud. I've never seen that before. So it was basically a cloud, but it had turned into a rainbow. And then they, of course, the orbs, because that's how I know it's your loved ones. Now, the message that they brought forth was for me to tell you not to give up. So they said, like, the message was, tell them don't give up. And I asked, don't give up what? And some were saying, like, tell them not to give up on their dreams. Some were saying, don't give up on your business. Some were saying, don't give up on your hobbies. And then some were saying, like, just tell them whatever makes them happy. That's what they want you to do. They want you to stay focused on what makes you happy. And I said, okay, I guess that's easy enough. And they said, but you have to stress to them the importance of them carving out time for that you have to make it a priority to carve out time. So they also said that when you do that and you find that happy place, that's going to help feed your soul, whatever that means for you, I don't know. And then they said that when you do that, it will help you it'll help you get through the bad days, or if you get any bad or terrible news. So that was their message for me. So then I was actually set up to do a different reading, and they asked me, they showed me a rainbow cloud again, and I said, oh, you want me to do this one first? And they said, yes. So here I am. So I'm going to do this reading for you first. I'm not really sure why the importance of doing this one first, but we're just going to, do what Spirit asks and move on. So a few cards were falling out while I was pulling out some of the decks that they were asking for. So it came out to replace the replacement of negative feeling by a higher one accounts for the many miracles one can experience in the course of a life. And then this one popped out, when letting go, ignore all thoughts, focus on the feeling itself, not on the thoughts. But there's more on here. It says, so there could be a lot of negative feelings going on, and that could be like taking over your thoughts and your emotions. So as we surrender, life becomes more and more effortless. There is a constant increase in happiness and pleasure, which requires less and less from the outer world to be experienced. We stop looking out there for what we experience as coming from within ourselves. So I think that's why they want you to spend more time, like carve out that time for your the things that you love to do, right? So with the letting go here, to focus on feeling itself and not the thoughts, it says on the back, thoughts are caused by suppressed and repressed feelings. When a feeling is let go, thousands or even millions of thoughts that were activated by that feeling disappear. They also had me bring out, it's funny too, because they had me bring out a couple books. They want me to, pull, like how I don't, well, if you're new, you probably wouldn't know, but they just had me take a book and then I just like flip through the pages and open it. And then that passage is something to do with the reading. Well, when I pulled this book out, I wasn't even planning on using this book. When I pulled it out, I just happened to flip it open to this, and it says, understand its power. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. So I think that you're putting yourself on the back burner, and lots of parents do that. We believe that because you spend so much time giving to all these little souls that you bring into the world, you always, especially women, they tend to do that. Like these nurturers, they nurture everyone, but they don't nurture themselves. So that's really something that is quite important. And then when I was setting up, this card here popped over. It says shake, release, heal, move on. So I put it back in the deck though, because, okay. Now the whale represents like truth and emotions and nurturing, I believe. So I think that's something like they're really stressing a lot. Guidance of the bat. It's a koala bear, number 10. I take time to rest for mental and emotional clarity. Yeah. The guidance of the bat. I allow the old ways of being to fall away as I embrace my higher calling. Okay. So, you know, they're really asking, there's a lot going on here about your emotional and mental well-being. You know, and they also brought up about this political warfare within that book there. So I don't know if like the political climate that you're listening to is becoming overwhelming in some way. You know, so when you're doing things that you really love, that really helps ground you. You know, that's where you get connected to those energies. You know what I mean? Like people don't realize that, but that's where you get connected to the higher source. On the bottom is passion. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to pull out one of these. You know, I feel like your loved ones are really worried about you. You know, they just kept, over and over, they kept stressing, like, tell them not to give up. Tell them not to give up. Focus your intention on what you can, why am I having a hard time? Focus your attention on what could go right when you learn to imagine the best case scenario you get to enjoy and experience twice. It's on this side. Possibility. See, look at all these thoughts that she's got going on in her head. Look. Oh my gosh, I just realized there's rainbows. Okay, possibility. Okay, so what does that say on the back again? For some reason, I'm not registering. I feel like I might be coming down with something. Focus your intention on what could go right. When you learn to imagine the best case scenario, you get to enjoy and experience twice. Oh, okay. So I think maybe you're, I think a lot of things have been going wrong for you. That's why they're saying not to give up. You know, this has a lot to do with whatever your emotions, whatever's happening here with your emotions, you're letting them take over. Okay, there's one more here. True security comes from having a reserve of time, space, energy, personal power, and love. Make deposits in all of these accounts and you'll be a wealthy person indeed. Okay, so that's what they're really talking about. They're talking about, well, the bank of self-care, the bank of time, space, energy, personal power, and love. So this is what they were talking about, to carve out that time. So they want you to carve out the time and the space and use your energy and your personal power and your love to, for yourself. Well, and then you get space again. Look on the bottom. And happiness right under it. The quality of your life has more to do with what you remove from your life than what you add to it. Give yourself the gift of space. Okay, they're really, really stressing about having the space here. And it'll help you with this, the happiness. And you see the two, the difference here? Your thinking will either make you your happiness or take your happiness. You choose. Okay. you choose. Okay. All right, Spirit. You know, you have that little bird whispering in her ear. You know, they're talking about, you know, be your own friend, right? Okay, so I'm just going to move this deck out of the way here. All right. Where do you want to start? Okay, with this one. Okay. Okay, let's see what other messages here they want. Whoa. Oneness. Yeah, they want you to connect. See, and that's what I was saying earlier. When you're in your, you know, doing your hobbies, doing what you love most, that's where you connect with source. It's where you connect with the universe. So oneness, look for the common humanity, invoke Lemurian light. Right, that's because you know what? That's co-creating. When you're in a creative doing what you love, that's creating with the universe. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, look, enter the magic. Live in the now, seize the moment. Yeah, I never saw this card before. You know, you get 42, which breaks down to a 6, and then you get 6 here. So you could be seeing 6, 6. You could be seeing the number 10. And when you see these numbers, it's a reminder to you to take that time for yourself. You know, honestly, I don't think I realized that these two cards were in this deck before. It's beautiful, though. You know, even if you're just taking the time to, you know, everybody needs that 10 or 15 minutes every day just to be able to reground themselves, to recenter. You know, they keep bringing up about, like, seize the moment, take time, you know, take the space. Okay. I think there's two. Yeah, there's two. You want this one or this one? Okay. Oh my God, look, and I was just talking about grounding. Well, that was the second card. Go deep, explore your roots. See, I was just talking about the grounding, and they brought up another. Do another one. Oh my gosh. I had cards like literally fly across the floor. You know, I started off with this one, great adventure, take a risk, venture forward. I gotta go see if that, well, navigating the stars. I gotta go see if they want those cards. Hold on. Oh, look at that. I think they do. I think they want these cards because it popped out with stay focused, hold the course. That's like not giving up, and transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. And that's what happens when you just continue and don't give up. I don't know. There must have been water on the floor from we get this weird snowstorm and the dogs were outside. Okay. So what's this one here? Desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan. Exactly, Spirit. Stay focused. Transformation. So something new is definitely coming in here. What's this? Destiny path on the bottom. Well, yeah, this is your destiny. There's a divine plan. There's always a plan. You know, people don't realize, but before we come here, you know, I know some people don't believe this, but we decide, you know, what lessons we're going to deal with, face your fears. Another rainbow. You could be also seeing crows or ravens. You know, a lot of people don't realize You could be seeing threes too, because 38 breaks down to a 3, and that book that I first showed you about the political thing, that was number 3 too. But a lot of people don't believe that we choose our path when we come here, because these are lessons, because it's all to have our souls, it's so that we can experience being a human, we can experience what it's like to live on this planet, and it's a way for our souls to expand in a different realm, you know what I mean? Yeah, look at surrender yet again here. Surrender to receive. Okay. You know, when you're doing like some kind of hobby or something, and you're in deep thought, that's all those deep thoughts, that's where you're sorting things out, connecting with the universe. It's where you're doing all your like grounding. But it's also a way for you to release. Is there another card here, Spirit? Keep trying. Yeah. Small steps, big accomplishments. Exactly. Just keep doing these small steps. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just keep doing these. You know, the starfish too, that's a creature that can, you know, move in any direction, really. It's also extremely sensitive to its environment. So you could be somebody that's really, you know, and turtles too, they're found all over the world. You know, turtles, you know, like turtles and starfish, you know, you could be somebody that's had a really hard life and has really had to go through a lot of struggles. But you see how, like, you know, you're going from this, you know, you're rising up. There's going to be, you know, because with the transformation too, there's something big coming in here. Okay, so they're going to have me bring out a couple of these. Yeah, there's some news coming in. Look, in transformation yet again. And your power, look. So there's some news coming in. That's what I was saying. Like, there's some kind of news coming in here. I don't know what the news is, though. The news of abundance. A little more stars. Look at that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 stars there. And then you have 5 there. I think you're going through a transition. You know, between the night and the day here. You know, could be where you're facing some of those shadow things of yourself, like because, you know, it comes right out under, with transformations coming right out underneath. Oh my God, look, whale, look, communication. And they showed me that vision of the whale here. Yeah, they want you to have some kindness to yourself, for yourself. Yeah, I think you've been beating yourself up or something. Because they keep repeating, don't tell them not to give up. So I think you might, you know, and you have this transition with this butterfly here. You know, and they showed me that vision of the whale. That's what started it all, because I had the vision of the whale, and then I went for my walk, and then that's when all the orbs started showing up, and all the information, and okay. There's something here in this mindful book that they want to keep drawing me over to it. Deeper lessons. Even at night, our mind does not rest. It creates dreams and processes the undigested material from our days. All this mental activity, all these choices and possibilities is confusing and even exhausting. Just as the body needs regular rest, so does the mind. That's why I was saying earlier how, like, just taking that 10 or 15 minutes to, of quiet, so that you're not hearing the word mom, mom, dad, dad, or whatever your name is being, when you're at work. I mean, you could have your name called to you like 15 or 20 times in 2 hours. Okay, to rest the mind is complete stillness, is pure awareness, is to return it to its original nature, its natural state. This task helps us to break the habit of compulsive thinking. And they're bringing up like all these, and I was talking about all these thoughts that you got going on, and they keep bringing up like the space, to carve out space. And even here, like with, like they have her sitting in like that Buddhist style, like she's creating this like little auric bubble around her. Yeah. They're really talking about all this communication that you got going on within yourself here. Because, they brought this up again, because it says right here, even with the koala bear, I take time to rest for mental and emotional clarity. So you have a lot of thoughts going on in your mind. We don't need the mind to narrate all the events of our life. We don't need the mind to comment internally on everything and everyone we encounter. This narration is commentary, separates us from just experiencing life as it is. The mind has two functions, thinking and awareness. When we are newborn babies, we have no words in our mind. We live in pure awareness. When we learn to speak, words begin to fill our mind and mouth. Yeah, okay, that's it. All right. So there's one more thing here in this self-love notes here. They want me to, this one. My life purpose is still unfolding, but I have faith that I am choosing the right path to my compelling future. There will be no stopping me. Right path. Okay. So that's the right path right now for you to bring in this transformation, is to take this space, find the space, quiet your mind, deal with this communication that you have going on internally. Okay, so they're going to have me bring out one of these. Okay. Your divine nature is the beauty of all beauty. Nice. Okay, let's see here. One of these. Okay, that one. Well, on the bottom, meditation. To see more clearly, close your eyes. Yeah. They're really stressing about the seeds of creation was on the bottom of this deck. Okay, let's see here. Courage and trust. Step into the void of uncertainty. Trust in life, existence, and that your soul will guide you to where you want to go and whatever you want to create. Life is made of big and little moments. One day you will look back and smile, knowing how precious every moment was. Okay. And one of these. There's something in this big card here that's going to help you. Maybe it'll help you focus on something. This one. Oh, hey, there's too many here. This one. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so let's start with this big one here. Free yourself from pain. That's this transformation here. Yeah, you're going through a lot of stress. You can tell by what's going on in this reading here. If with kindly generosity, one merely has the wish to soothe the aching hearts of other beings, such merit has no bounds. Okay. Yeah, and the heart chakra. Yeah, look at this. It's all about the heart. Self-love. Look again. They're talking about that self-love. You can only love others as much as you love yourself. So use some rose quartz. Rose quartz is heart healing. I don't have any right at this moment. So web of life. One day we will collectively evolve to be as wise as the trees and flowers. The love in our hearts shall flow and fill every atom of space, leaving no room for misunderstanding, hatred, or fear. Make that day today. Focus on love and compassion, and your only tears will be of joy. No joke. There's something here they want me to read, something here in this book for you. And then I'm going to close the reading. Number 2. Okay. So free from pain. Imagine that you have a red sword of light. At the top of the sword, there is a red star. You notice they're bringing out a lot with the stars too, right? There's even stars in this. There's stars everywhere in all of these cards, actually, like even here and here. Okay. All right. So they want me to read the whole thing. So they're going to have me start from the beginning. So red contains unlimited energy, vitality, and power, and draws money and prosperity into your life. It is a powerful agent of healing blood disorders, improve circulation, healing diseases, drying up sores or wounds, warming cold areas of your body, and reducing pain. And because red releases adrenaline to stimulate mental and physical energy, red can relieve depression. Use a red sword of light to heal on all levels. So they're saying at the tip of the sword, there is a red star, which has incredible healing power. When the star touches anything sick, it dissolves the sickness right out of your body. Visualize touching every part of your body that needs healing with the red sword. Say, divine intelligence, move your healing light through my mind and body so I can return to a state of vibrant health. Wow. That's amazing, Spirit. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I hope this video finds you well. And, your loved ones are really trying to stress over and over. That's probably why I'm and I was even saying, I kind of feel a little sick doing this reading. And so I'm going to do that red sword myself, actually, before I move on to another reading. Okay, so I'm going to bid you a good day. I hope this video finds you well. I'm going to send you all my love and light, and good luck on your healing and your processing of all this information. Okay, so have a good day. Bye, everyone.